Okay, so I never make videos at night, but tonight I'm making a video because it's my last night here in my little cabin in Anglesville. And I feel really good because I feel like I did what I was supposed to when I came here. I feel like I came here to meet myself and to launch the new year on the right foot, knowing what I wanted to do and or to uncover what I want to do this year and to give birth, start the birthing process. And I feel really good. I feel like this has been an amazing time, and I feel really blessed. Now, there are a couple of things that happened last week, or maybe it was the week before last. It might have been like 10 days ago. I was in the pasture, or I was outside my cottage, and I was feeding the horses some carrots. And I looked at the owner of this house has three horses. A short one, a tall one, and a medium-sized one who's kind of the boss. So the medium-sized one who's the boss usually comes over to me right away, or comes over. She's not the most friendly horse, but she usually is kind of dominant. She comes over and I give her a carrot first because she's a dominant horse. And when I saw her, I had this feeling. I looked at her and I thought, oh, are you okay, little friend? What's wrong? Like, oh. And anyway, so, well, she died. The horse died. And I'm disturbed. So the horse died, and the way I found out that the horse died was that, well, first of all, I didn't see her. I haven't seen her at all over the last 5 days. And maybe 3 days, the last 5 days now. And, that's not totally uncommon. It's quite a big place, and maybe, timing just wasn't right to see her. There's a little corner, so it's not common I don't have to see her all the time. But I went down to give carrots again, and she didn't come out, and I'm like, oh, bummer, well, I give your other friends the carrots, and then I went on about my business. But the way I found out that she had died was very disturbing. They had started the tractors on Sunday morning really early, like at 8 o'clock, which is early to be starting tractors, and on a Sunday. And they are tooling around on the tractors, and then they drag her out at the back of the tractor with a couple of ropes tied around her body. She's dead, and she's stiff, That was really not a nice thing to look at. They drag her to another field, and they put her in the field, And the day before, they had moved the other two horses from that one field pasture thing to the other one, and the other one had more grass, and I thought, oh, I wonder why they aren't moving her. I thought maybe they had, maybe I don't know why they didn't bring her, but anyway, so then they drag her out a couple days later, and she's, dead. A big horse dead is really it's not a cool thing to see. It's a fucked up thing to see. It's very disturbing. Seeing anything dead is disturbing. Seeing a horse dead is particularly disturbing. They are big, graceful, beautiful, sentient beings. They're very powerful. Just their presence is really powerful. So that kind of really hurt my heart to see her dragged like that. Of course, she's big. You can't carry it out wrapped up in a blanket, you know. You have to kind of just accept that it's going to be, this is, I guess, how it gets done. And the thing is, I asked one of the owners of the place, about the horse, and he did this thing that French people do that bugs me. He went, oh, and it bugs me because it's a way of saying, I don't know, and it's kind of a little bit dismissive, like, it's something I can't answer. I'm going to throw my hands up. And for me, sometimes that attitude is a little bit like, I don't want to confront this issue at this big issue. And look, it's not my business. He doesn't have to talk to me about his horse or his feelings, not at all. However, my egoic self was like, how are you going to be so dismissive about your horse dying? And I said, is the horse old? And he's like, no, it was the healthiest out of the three. And I'm like, and you're not freaked out that your horse just died and you just went into its little stall and it was dead? You just think that's okay? And I had so many, I didn't really have a lot of judgment against him. I wasn't focused on the judgment against him. Instead, I was projecting my feelings of being abandoned, my negative feelings of being abandoned and being forgotten. Somebody saying, coming into a house and finding me dead and then going, c'est pas, I don't know. It bugged the shit out of me. So as I'm sitting here, and this was just this morning that I had the conversation with him, and it was yesterday that they dragged the horse. So as I'm sitting here tonight, kind of taking in this, my last night here, I was just sitting down reading my cards about, the end of my time. And I felt really good and all this kind of thing. I felt really blessed. And so I was saying thank you to the apartment and thank you to the land and blah, blah, blah. And the horse came up and I thought, God, the message here, as I'm studying A Course in Miracles, the message is that horse is not what I am trying to make that horse to be. That horse is more than a horse. That horse is a spirit, right? And the question, though, I asked was, why did that horse die like that? And why did I see that on the day of the full moon? So Sunday was a full moon in Virgo. And the message, the tarot card that I got was the wheel, which represents the cycle of life and death. The cycles of nature, things happen in cycles. And it talked a lot, actually, the description on this particular deck talked a lot about the womb and the tomb. That's the womb giving life and the tomb taking the body. And how we live that every day, that's our opportunity in life, is to obviously be born or to be nurtured in the womb, to be conceived and nurtured in the womb, live our lives, and then retire to the tomb. And then that cycle starts all over again. But also in our daily lives as living beings, to remember that there are cycles, and life and death are a part of it, And it's time for me to stop victimizing, or to stop making victims of things that I perceive as helpless, and including myself. That man and his horse, that man did what he was supposed to do for his horse. He fed and watered his horse. you know? He may not have had a deeper relationship with him, but it's not up to me to judge that relationship that the man had with his horse, you know? It's not up to me to judge, and it's not my business, and it's, you know, and the horse was out there in her beautiful pasture with her buddies, you know? Where do I don't know where I get off judging people. And again, it's not really me judging as much as it is me having ultimately a fear of dying in an apartment, being a single woman, and nobody knows that I'm dead for days. That's a fear. And I feel like that's what happened to that horse, and I'm like, that's horrible. The thing is, the horse had her buddies in there. The buddies knew that she was dead, right? And it was really interesting to see them drag the horse from the old pasture to the new pasture where the horses were. The horses had been moved. So all three of them were together in the new pasture. And the two living horses were, when they dragged the dead horse in, the two living horses were kind of scampering around and nickering. You know, you couldn't tell if they were upset, like they'd come kind of running over and then they'd kick their feet back a little bit. And God, horses are so fucking beautiful. Oh my God. Horses have bangs. You know, animals that have bangs. Oh my God. I just love these animals. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the thing. This intense love that I have, where I'm kind of like just awed by them, I turn that on them. I take something that's beautiful and powerful, and then I disempower it because I'm afraid of the cycle of life. And that's the thing that Spirit is kind of like, look, honey, you're going to have to let go of, you know, projecting your fears of disempowerment and loneliness and fear. You got to let go, and you got to let go of it in yourself, and you got to, for sure, stop projecting it onto other people and other beings. Horse is not a victim. Horse has its curriculum. It has its reason for being here, and it had its reason for dying on the day that it did, and me seeing that on the day that I saw it and the way that I saw it, you know? I mean, and then me pulling that tarot card, and the tarot card is, I'm like, why did I see that horse die on the full moon? You know, why did I see the dead horse on the full moon? The cycle of life. You need to learn about life and death and surrender to it and stop being so afraid of it. You know, you're gonna die, and, you know, maybe you will die in an apartment by yourself, and maybe it will be a couple of weeks before somebody finds you because, you know, you've isolated yourself. What are you gonna do? You're dead. You've already returned. You're already home. By the time somebody finds you, you'd already be home. You'd be all tucked up in heaven, and then they discover your body. You're like, I'm over it. Hey, I'm fine. And then you're leaving your friends to kind of deal with their issues and projections of, you know, fear. You're like, why didn't we find her before? Oh my God. And then they're going to go through all their shit. It's kind of like, let all that go. Let it go now while you're alive and you got a chance. All right, I got to sign off. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and catch my, start the traveling process. All right, signing off. Bye for now.